Hello, welcome back to Rob Shaw from GRAF. After our little detour into talking about Africa's agricultural potential, I want to continue talking about agricultural projects from history. If you remember, we talked about the East African groundnut scheme. We've talked about Fordlandia in Brazil. And today we're back in Africa, this time in West Africa, Liberia. Let me fire up the PowerPoint and we'll get going. Today's talk is about Tournata. I've titled it A Liberian Folly. R.G. Letourneau, he was a very prolific inventor and engineer in America right through the early part of the last century. And his particular area of expertise and manufacturing was heavy plant, large bulldozers, blades, clearing equipment. He also was credited with inventing the offshore oil rig and had a separate division manufacturing those. And one of his key developments was electric drive in the wheels. So he had a large diesel engine and generator, and then every wheel had its own electric motor producing the drive. And he produced some crazy looking, some immensely massive machinery. And he considered that heavy plant could solve all the world's problems. For some reason, he decided that he wanted to head to Liberia. He was invited over to help developing agricultural land, converting tropical rainforest into productive agricultural land, producing food to help Liberia feed itself. He was awarded an 80-year lease on 500,000 acres. His plan was to harvest the timber and clear the land for food production. For this project, he went large. He produced some of the largest heavy equipment ever manufactured. Tournata was the name given to the project, and this is some photographs at its beginning in 1953. Again, logistics were a problem. Water transport was used extensively, along with float planes and airstrips and conventional planes. They had some very large equipment for knocking over trees and clearing land and crushing trees, along with some more conventional sized bulldozers. R.G. Letourneau believed in heavy metal. This is Tournata today. This is a recurring theme when I describe these projects. Heavy equipment lying idle, buildings lying in ruins, land abandoned. What went wrong? Well, in this project, it's just like all the previous ones. R.G. Letourneau was an engineer, a very successful engineer, produced some amazing equipment, and he thought he could beat the earth into submission. All he needed was bigger and better equipment to knock over those rainforests and bring the land into production. It's not that simple though. He kept throwing money at the project until eventually it was wound down. When you're developing land in Africa, first of all, you have to consider logistics. It keeps coming up again. Logistics are expensive in Africa. If you're starting to transport equipment or inputs or outputs over poor roads or no roads at all, it gets very expensive and very difficult. And the second lesson to learn is throwing money at a project, throwing heavy iron, heavy steel, diesel fuel doesn't solve problems. Look for the low-hanging fruit, easy land to bring into production, and don't go mad with capital investment. Anything else? Just drop me a line on LinkedIn. Let's see if we can find some more projects in Africa to talk about.